Hello. Well, in the old days, when the British Empire was an empire, they used to send out gunboats to whip the natives into shape. And it looks like America has taken over that very role, as it turns out that Trump is going to a state dinner and is going to bring the big guns with him to whip the British government into shape. You can sort of imagine him there at the affair saying, well, try and imagine the Bronx accent. I can't do that. Yeah, well, me, I'm a quiet sort of guy, but my associates here, they're a little bit jittery. And unfortunately, all Starmer will be able to say would be what he always says. Well, we've had freedom of speech here for a very, very long time, which fools nobody. The only times people get to talk the way they want to talk in this country nowadays is once they've been locked up. Okay, I'm Granniopteryx. Please like this video, please share it, and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to contribute financially, that's lovely. All the links to the means whereby you can do that, they're in the description. But really, the best thing you can do is to like this video and, of course, to subscribe to my channel. So let's have a look at this. US tech and finance giants to join Trump on second UK state visit. And he's brought the boss of Nvidia, the world's most valuable public company. And this is all according to Sky News. Now, Sky News has learnt that the Nvidia chief executive is expected to attend the state banquet. And this is the bit that caught my attention. Larry Fink, chairman and chief executive of asset management behemoth Blackrock, and Stephen Schwartzman, the boss of private equity giant Blackstone, were also expected to be among the attendees. I thought those two companies were the same company, which apparently is a very bad thing to say in the financial world. It proves you're a real idiot. But no, they're not. And apparently they are different because one guy had a row with another guy. Anyway, they've also got the Apple chief executive, JP Morgan. It'll fuel expectations that a wave of corporate deals and investments in the UK will be unveiled during Mr. Trump's unprecedented second state visit. And this is something that I'm a little bit worried about. Closer collaboration between the two countries' nuclear power industries and tensions over his tariff regime. Yep. Apparently, Royal Mail are not sending parcels to America because of problems with the tariff. I mean, they're supposed to be sorting it out. But quite frankly, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'm just guessing here. But I would guess that the awkwardness is coming from the Royal Mail and may have to do with union activity. But yeah, I may be doing them a disservice there. What else do we have here? Continuing tensions between the UK government and major drug makers over pricing. Yeah, believe it or not, Britain still manufactures a lot of drugs. And the US administration pressuring pharmaceutical companies to slash the price of prescription medicines in the US. And then it says BlackRock, Blackstone, Apple and JP Morgan declined to comment while OpenAI did not respond to a request for a comment either. Okay, so let's just talk. I mean, what really interests me is Blackstone and Blackrock. They are both asset management companies. And as I said, one of the founders of Blackstone Stephen Schwartzman, used to work for Blackrock and had a bust-up with the CEO, who's a chap called Lawrence Fink. And so he went off to start his own asset management company. Apparently the two firms have two completely different business models, as you might imagine if they'd had a row about procedure. But the one thing that they both appear to agree on right now is that there's a lot of prime opportunities in the UK for bargain basement prices. You see, as our government taxes small people into insolvency and perhaps, if they're lucky enough, early retirement, for instance, breaking up family farms and driving small businesses into the ground with unrealistic employment laws. So there's Blackrock picking up the pieces. And we'll see here, Blackrock gobbles up more of the failing UK, it says here. The Times reported today that US-based Blackrock, the world's largest asset manager, is buying up more undervalued UK assets. These include Gatwick Airport, farmland across the UK, homes and renewable energy projects such as wind farms in Grimsby and solar power production in Pembrokeshire. So let's just think about this. This is an asset management company. It's there to make money. It's not there to think of the future of Britain. So what they'll do is they'll put these solar farms on prime agricultural land. We won't be able to grow any food. And once they've got their profit and gone out, we will have to clean up the mess. Now, as I've told you in previous videos, when a solar farm puts all those solar panels on prime land, it becomes next to useless because the glass breaks, it gets into the soil, then there are toxic chemicals as well. It's not even usable for grazing sheep, never mind growing anything that anyone would actually want to eat. That's the sort of thing that's going on. So that's Blackrock. Now, what about Blackstone? Well, as the government makes it more difficult for small property owners to rent, let's have a look at the Renters' Rights Bill here, shall we? Here we are, Labour's Renters' Rights Bill, Guide to the New Legislation. Basically, it makes it next to impossible for a renter to get rid of a tenant. And sometimes tenants aren't very nice at all. They mess up the place, they don't pay rent, they destroy property, and it's going to be more and more difficult. So anyone who's at least moderately sane will not be renting property out anymore. They're in too weak a position. But there are other companies who are in a much better position. Blackstone, for instance, is buying up student housing units here, residential units. That means blocks of flats specifically designed to rent out. And what's going to happen is you're going to have these huge companies renting out properties, but they'll be too big to fight. So while the small property owners, the people who've just bought a little flat or maybe a couple of bungalows or something for an investment, they won't be able to rent anymore because of these laws. Here you've got Blackstone stepping in, buying up student accommodation and building residential units, and then renting them out. But they will be too big for the government to get at. They will have the smart lawyers and the tax havens. You can't complain to a faceless conglomerate. So the renters are going to be in a far worse position than they would be with a local little private renter. And the government won't be able to get at these people either. And they will be evading tax big time, as I said, because they have the smart lawyers and the offshore havens. And the worst of it is, both Blackstone and Blackrock, they will be making hay out of all of these assets, but they will end up siphoning it off to the USA. Of course they will. That's their job. Out of this country and somewhere else. And that's what the Labour Party is doing with its laws. I don't know whether they know what they're doing or whether they're just complete idiots. Bit of both, I suppose. But this is the party of the working man, as somebody said just before the last election. And it's absolutely, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Here we are, Blackrock. We're just going to end up a colony without voting rights. That's what this party is doing to us. Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.